All right, welcome back. I hope you're enjoying the conference so far. Our next speaker is An Hussein. He is founder and principal consultant at Innovation Consultants, as well as formerly at Amazon. Please join me in welcoming him to our virtual stage.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Patricia. Let me start off the presentation and share the screen. I hope everyone has been having a great time so far. Share and awesome. Okay, so quick introductions. My name's An. I am the principal consultant and founder of Innovation Consultants. I've run this company for a while. I am an ex-Amazonian, so I worked at Amazon 7 years. Most recently, I was the senior product manager for checkout experience on Alexa Shopping. Previously, I did multimodal Alexa on third-party devices, and I've also worked on a few other roles on the retail and marketplace side more specifically at Amazon. Before Amazon, I have an engineering degree, I have a master's in entrepreneurship, and I have an MBA, and I also do angel investment on the side. So let's get started here. So let's start with who is this presentation for? I think it's important to kind of start there. You guys have been probably been diving deep in technology throughout these sessions. This particular session is not a technical deep dive. We're not going to be talking about specific ML models or unstructured data or structured data and all of that. This is really focused on the application of AI. It is for strategic decision makers, data scientists, product managers, pretty much anyone who wants to understand how to make their AI application successful by creating value for customers and for the business. So that's where we're going to start off. Now let's dive deeper into it. The first piece really is aligning on what AI and ML are. There are many different definitions for AI and ML. The ones I like are, AI, it's really a machine's ability to learn and perform suitable techniques to solve problems and achieve goals. And this is different from ML. ML really is how a computer can improve their perception, knowledge, thinking, actions based on experience or data. So if I were to put this in simple words, machine learning takes old data, learns patterns, and applies it to predict the future or predict, likes, dislikes, whatever we want to kind of build. It takes past data and tries to predict the future. So it's not real intelligence in that sense. It is really mimicking intelligence and looking at for patterns. So let's dive deeper in terms of applications in retail. Let's look at some use cases. These are not exhaustive. There's many more use cases, but this is a list of some interesting ones. You always want to start at the vision, look at strategic goals, and then kind of dive deeper. And in terms of strategic goals, these are the ones that kind of jump to me are, you want to improve existing CX, predict, personalize, automate, simplify. You can reduce costs, supply chain costs or customer interaction costs. And then this is an interesting one, capture attention and make it sticky by creating new experiences. So ML models, AI allows us to do a lot of that. Now let's dive deeper in each one and look at a few examples. So improve existing CX. This is an Amazon page, and on this page we're trying to do customer prediction and personalization. Anytime you type anything in a search bar, be it Google or Amazon, and it almost, the ML models, the NLU, they're trying, they come up with that next word that you're trying to type. That's really the AI working in the background to kind of predict what your thoughts are. And what they're trying to do is make your life easier. So you don't have to type everything, and you can just press enter and it just works. So if the experience is good for you, you're going to keep coming back. So that's what they're really trying to do. But beyond that, there's a lot of personalization happening on this page. If you look at this picture, it's recommending a Prime Video based on my likes. It's not necessarily the same video I've been watching, but in the back end, ML models are parsing through my likes and dislikes to figure out which video is I am most likely to watch, and it brings that up. If you look at the carousels, these carousels and the page itself is flexible, so it's personalized for me, and a company that really does that really well. I know it's not in retail, but Netflix does that really well. So all those carousels, they can be moved up or down, they can be removed. And these carousels, the one here you see on the Amazon page, is again based on my preferences of what I've been looking at, as well as my household, my kids, my wife, whatever they're kind of looking for, and it personalizes that. Let's keep going. Pricing. So pricing, this is a very interesting area. Amazon, other companies, they do price matching. So what they do is, just like Google has spider bots, these companies have spider bots, and they go out on the web and they look at products and they see, okay, how's our products pricing with other the same products being sold on other websites, and pricing is constantly being adjusted online. But there's also price personalization. You might get a different price from me. Airline industry has been doing this for a while, and they're really good at it. So if you search for business class tickets, don't be surprised if you start getting more of those higher priced seats. Deal pricing and real time, that's also happening in the background. ML models can look at real time as things are selling, and adjust based on inventory pricing as well as past deal performance, and compare it to how it's working out on new deals, and adjust pricing accordingly real time. Let's keep going. Reducing costs. So this one is super interesting. I want to start off by a listing example. So quality, compliance, and enforcement. So this is a listing example from Amazon, but there's other examples out there on Walmart, Target, whatever other companies. And ML models are looking for accuracy. They're looking for errors, image quality. They're looking for multiple listings if people are trying to game the system. You've got, especially with marketplace models, you can have foreign suppliers or sellers of products, and their first language might not be English, and therefore there are errors there. So ML models can help bring that quality up to par. There's compliance. If there's brand enforcement, or there is knockoff products, or copyright infringement, ML models are able to look at all of that and tell us, block those listings, notify the owners, and they can come and take a look, and repeat owners can be fined, or whatever needs to be done, taken offline, et cetera, et cetera. Let's keep going. Let's look at predictive placement, another opportunity for cost improvement. Cost and timing improvement. Have you ever wondered, I go online and I say, okay, same day delivery, and that product just happens to be in the warehouse that's right next to you? How does that happen? Well, ML models are constantly looking at, who's buying what where, of course, anonymized, so that they can place products closest to you before even you know that you're going to order them. They're in the warehouse, and you can get now we've with Amazon, we've come down to 1-2 hour deliveries. So they're always improving as time goes by. Let's look at transport optimization. So transport optimization there's both a bulk transport, you've got LTL and port to port. You might have things shipping from overseas, et cetera. And there's a lot of companies, Flexport is an example of that. And a lot of these companies are using ML models to optimize where to put your products so that you get the least cost and you get the products as quickly as possible. And this is especially important nowadays with the supply chain disruption that we've seen because of the pandemic. Routing optimization, I've got 150 items to deliver. Which address should I go to first? How do I optimize for fuel, for quickest to delivery to customer, et cetera, et cetera. Automated warehouses. So of course, you've all read articles around pick and pack workers walking miles and miles to get your products. But we've got robotics doing a lot of that increasingly. We're not, it's not fully mechanized yet, but these things are coming. And we've got Amazon has Kiva robots. Other companies have built other solutions. And there's third-party solutions. If you own your own warehouse, you can go to these third parties and purchase automation solutions. And these ML models, again, they're improving over time. Automated delivery, so last mile. There are companies that are providing these out of their warehouses, and they can go deliver. There's also hub and spoke models where if I have a truck and I have a bunch of items to deliver, so I drive to a particular neighborhood and park on a street, and then these little robots crawl out of the truck and go deliver some of these products. Drone delivery, Amazon is famously working on it. There are other companies working on it as well. Chatbots. Everyone seems to be using chatbots. Either it's voice or typing online. But NLU is an enabler. So one of the important things to remember is voice interaction, chat interaction. These are only enablers. You have to match the actions in the back end to deliver on those enablers. If I were to say, Google, make me coffee, and she can't make me coffee, for my use case, she's dead to me. So you really have to make sure that you are delivering on that, on the customer needs. And trust is very easily broken, especially with AI, because people are very sensitive to it. And if I go on a chat and I try to do something and AI isn't able to do it, my frustration level is going to be higher. So as we're building for this, and as we are, in the hybrid model where we're teaching the models and there's people in parallel doing that, we really have to make sure that we are capturing a vast majority of the actions that people are trying to do. But this is a great opportunity for decreasing costs. Let's keep going. Capture attention and making it sticky. This is some of the fun part of where NL and AI are taking us. These are new experiences. Just walk out stores. What's the customer problem we're solving here? If you've gone to the grocery store on weekends where everyone's shopping and you have had to wait 30 minutes, 40 minutes, an hour in line to check out, that's just terrible. And this is an amazing experience. You go to one of these stores. I still remember the first time I went there, I picked up something and I walked out of the store and I'm like, hey, I have this item in my hand. I'm not shoplifting. But once you get used to it, it is such an amazing, it's a magical experience. You just pick up items and you walk out and everything's charged automatically. Shop at any time. So that's another, amazing experience. I don't have to create lists, or I can create lists using voice. I don't have to write it down. In fact, I'm in my kitchen and I noticed that I'm low on milk, and I'm going to say, Amazon, Alexa, reorder milk. And the NLU models are going to look at, okay, which brand do I have I purchased previously? What type of items? What's sort of my shipping rate? And there's also proactive notification where it'll come to me and say, hey, it looks like you're about to run out of milk. Would you like to reorder some? So really being helpful in anywhere and being able to do all of those from anywhere. And sorry, some of the interesting, going back to the previous slide, some of the interesting applications, this is not just Amazon doing this. You can buy a fridge with touchscreens in there and voice assistants in there. So all of these are being built today, and you can buy some of these today. Voice search. Now, voice search is, it's super important because I was talking about being helpful. So voice search isn't just about, hey, I don't need to type anymore and I can just speak and it'll find the product for me. But voice is much more than that. It's when you think about it, voice today is like a mouse or a keyboard 20 years ago. There is a lot that can be done in terms of being helpful. Some companies have built solutions such as, hey, I'm going to Europe, I want to pack for Europe. And it'll help you pack for Europe or pack for a business trip. And while it's doing that, you can purchase items, luggage or whatever they're selling. But it's really about being helpful and embedding yourself in the house by being helpful and the habits of customers. You can build, on various different ecosystems, Amazon, Google, Bixby, and there's many other ones out there. You can build your own voice application on your website. There's third parties that allow you to do that. You can build, apps that allow people to interact with your applications. And there's multimodal. So once you bring voice and video into play, there's a lot more that you can do. So I'll keep going here. Augmented reality. So this is a booming field. Have you ever tried, let's just looking at this picture, you see a lot of furniture. Furniture is especially hard category because people want to, feel, they touch and feel items, but they also want to see how it looks in their space. And furniture is big, it's hard to ship, it's even harder to return. So a lot of companies have built, Wayfair has built a solution where I've seen it on Target app, where you can take a product and mix and match it with your camera and see how it looks in your room. The reverse technology is also being applied. I can change I can take my picture, put it on these websites, and I can see how different glasses are going to look. You can try different clothes, get body measurements. So it's a booming field. Let's keep going. Virtual reality. So I'm going to start off with mentioning a movie I really like, Ready Player One. It really gives you, stimulates the imagination. It's a virtual world. So what's the problem here that we're trying to solve for customers? Well, I want to escape from this world. I want to do all these things that I can do in the real world. I can do it in this virtual world. I can change how I look. I can go to places I could never go to before. I can interact in different ways. And there are challenges. There are significant challenges. People are not yet, everyone can't wear those 3D goggles. Some people get nausea. Some people can only wear it for 20 minutes, et cetera, et cetera. But these problems will get solved over a period of time. But imagine the possibilities of being in this different world, and you as a retailer having your products there. Many companies are already trying to do that so you can sell your digital products. Mindshare. So a lot of these companies, there was a time where we used to sit down and we used to say, okay, what's the share of wallet? I want to increase grocery spend versus electronic spend, et cetera. And competition is so fierce. It's all about mindshare now. That's why these companies are building ecosystems. You think shopping, you should think immediately Amazon and Alexa. You think search, think Google. And for a lot of different other things, you think Apple, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really moved on to how do you capture that mindshare by providing value. There's a lot of challenges. So let's look at a few challenges. privacy is a huge one. You've got all these devices in your house listening. And the reality is these devices are not transmitting constantly to the cloud. So everything is not being recorded. They're listening for the wake word, but perception is reality. Why do you want these devices there? A lot of people don't want them there, and they perceive that they're constantly listening and snooping in, especially with NLU models being able to better predict. You go to Facebook and you see, oh, I was just thinking about this product. Are they listening? So it's a significant challenge. Technically, there are also technical challenges. Try adding your address to Google or Alexa. They may or may not understand your address. So or try entering a new payment method. Doesn't work today. So ML models are evolving, but there's a lot of innovation to be done to get to deliver on all these promises. So on this slide, I've divided it into three: large, medium, and small companies. So large companies, they typically like to do in-house development. They build their own ML models. They've got lots and lots of data. Their focus is ecosystems. Let's build the ecosystems. We're a platforms company where we're going to build for scale. We will let other third parties come in and take our platform and build end customer products or services. But these companies are really hard to steer. If you want to change direction, it takes forever. And there have been plenty of articles around as the smaller companies, innovation companies have grown into bigger incumbents, how they have slowed down because of their legacy products and whatnot. Medium companies, they're a little more nimble. They do mix and match. They will white label a lot of products that you think is theirs, but in the background they've borrowed the technology from whatever IBM or AWS or wherever. They have some data, but they get more data by building alliances. And they tend to build narrow AI ecosystems. So they're really focused on use cases that are very, very deep. Instead of, like Alexa or Google, they're very broad. They want to do everything. But these, such as Bixby on your TV, very, very specific use case for content, searching, et cetera, et cetera. So they can do things better as opposed to trying to do everything under the sun. So that really brings us to the last piece, which is what can small companies do? How can you use ML and AI? And looking at this ecosystem, it looks like, oh, I as a small company don't have resources. How would I ever kind of build anything like that? But this is really where a lot of innovation is happening. And the reason for that is smaller companies are nimble. They're focused on customers. They're building experiences that the examples we were talking about, new glasses, furniture, a lot of small companies are doing that. And that's where you can leverage ecosystems. If you're a small company, you can go to build, leverage IBM Watson or AWS or whatever other platforms there is, VoiceFlow, et cetera, to build your own prototypes and experiences. Be careful that, as you build that, you're creating moats to protect whatever you're building. And either it's through patenting or it's through trade secrets or whatever strategy you might come up with. But that's really, build for a culture of innovation and focus on customers. How can you build things to be helpful to customers? And then once you have traction on there, then you can think about bringing this stuff in-house if it allows for it. So I think we're a little bit over time. That's it for me. I will be online answering questions live. You can also contact me via my email or feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you very much. And back to you, Patrika. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much, An. I appreciate your time today. This has been incredible. And I know this virtual audience is giving you a huge virtual round of applause. If you could stop sharing your screen, we're going to send the audience on their way. Awesome. All right, for the audience, it's time for you to make your way to your next session. Along the way, make sure you accept your connection request and make sure to check out our awesome AI exhibits. Thanks so much, and we'll see you around.